It was $1 billion day yesterday, about 700 million or so for various jobs programs, including $125 million recapitalization of Connecticut innovations. Hugely important for the startup community. And we also got authorization for $292 million of bond funds to enable the development in Connecticut at the UConn-Farmington campus of the Jackson Laboratory Institute for Genomic Medicine. This will put us on the map in what is probably going to be the fastest growing industry in the country, if not the world. We overnight go from, I don't know, being in the top 15 to probably being in the top 3 of states in this area. You know, this is a time when a lot of state houses have been taken over by folks who have a disdain for science. One of the things I have under my purview is the branding responsibility. I'm sort of the chief marketing officer for the state. So we're going to do a targeted ad. I haven't quite figured out exactly how to do it, but it's going to say something like, "We believe in evolution in Connecticut. We believe in climate change. We were the first state into stem cell. So give us your oppressed scientists yearning to be free." I think people who disdain science should pay for that belief. We're going to go hard after the best research teams in the worst states. And I think we're going to be successful in part because of the game-changing move we made yesterday. So it's one piece of a puzzle, and we've been working with Matthew and 25 organizations that stepped into the breach when the state took a vacation for 10 years and didn't pay attention to innovation. You know, people talk about cat herding, and I think it's become the new normal. So I've got a new metaphor. I call this cat washing. You obviously don't have cats. But we did get this group to come up with a design for an innovation ecosystem. These are folks that are mostly in nonprofits, and we have had some entrepreneurs involved, and we're going to have more of them involved going forward. But I'd say this about innovation ecosystems. While the serial entrepreneur is the absolute critical dominant species in the ecosystem, they're not ecologists. They don't spend a lot of time thinking about the ecosystem. And they sometimes aren't really conscious of all the pieces that need to be in it. There are other folks whose job is to think about the ecosystem and design one that will then benefit the entrepreneur. I think we need to listen to the entrepreneur. A lot of the system has to be self-organized, self-financed, self-driven by entrepreneurs, but the entrepreneur is not the ecologist. There is a role for the ecologist, and that's the kind of stuff that Matthew and I and 25 other folks are doing. So look forward to working with you all. I do have another part of the job that is about making our cities the kind of cool places that young innovators, particularly 30 to 35-year-olds, and another time I'll explain why I'm so specific about that target, but that tail end of the time when we're moving, those folks that are looking to downshift to smaller cities will come and help us make our cool cities cooler. And the absolute pace setter for that, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here, but the absolute pace setter for that is New Haven. And if we could get our other cities, Stamford, Bridgeport, Hartford, New London, et cetera, to be as cool a place as New Haven is, we'd be far along on our way. And we need to You know, when you have density and scale like Manhattan does and Boston does, innovation networks just form organically. We don't have that. There are places that are able to get to critical mass without density, like Silicon Valley, like the Research Triangle. They have scale without density. We're going to do an experiment as to whether you can get to critical mass by density without scale. If we can link our 5 or 6 small cities together and get them to function as parts of a whole, broadening and deepening the network in each one and then connecting the 5 of them together as one network of networks, can we have the critical mass that will really make us competitive with the Bostons and New Yorks and the Silicon Valleys and the Research Triangles? I think we can, and I think that's the strategy we have to pursue, so you start to see the logic of putting innovation and placemaking under one shop. So look forward to working with you.